गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुर्साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। शुक्लाम्बरधरं विष्णुं शशिवर्णं चतुर्भुजं प्रसन्नवदनं ध्यायेत् सर्वविघ्नोपशान्तये। सरस्वती नमस्तुभ्यं वरदे कामरूपिणी विद्यारम्भं करिष्यामि सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा। आपदामपहर्तारं दातारं सर्वसम्पदां लोकाभिरामं श्रीरामं भूयो भूयो नमाम्यहम्। बुद्धिर्बलं यशोधैर्यं निर्भयत्वम् अरोगिताम् अजाड्यं वाक्पटुत्वं च हनुमत्स्मरणात् भवेत्। गुरवे सर्वलोकानां भिषजे भवरोगिणां निधये सर्वविद्यानां दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। तं सूर्यं जगतां नाथं ज्ञानविज्ञानमोक्षदं महापापहरं देवं तं सूर्यं प्रणमाम्यहम्। वागर्थाविव सम्पृक्तौ वागर्थप्रतिपत्तये जगतः पितरौ वन्दे पार्वती परमेश्वरौ। येनाक्षरसमाम्नायमधिगम्य महेश्वरात् कृत्स्नं व्याकरणं प्रोक्तं तस्मै पाणिनये नमः। येन धौता गिरः पुंसां विमलैः शब्दवारिभिः तमश्चाज्ञानजं भिन्नं तस्मै पाणिनये नमः। वाक्यकारं वररुचिं भाष्यकारं पतञ्जलिं पाणिनिं सूत्रकारं च प्रणतोऽस्मि मुनित्रयम्। यदक्षरपदभ्रष्टं मात्राहीनं च यद्भवेत् तत्सर्वं क्षम्यतां देवनारायण नमोऽस्तु ते। कायेन वाचा मनसेन्द्रियैर्वा बुद्ध्यात्मना वा प्रकृते स्वभावात् करोमि यद्यत् सकलं परस्मै नारायणायेति समर्पयामि। अस्तु। So we were on the Chaturthi Vibhakti, sorry, Sampradanam, right? So we were on page 6, completed that, and I think we should start 7. So here Sampradanam, so Da Dhatu, we were discussing how the Dha Dhatu can be taken. So sometimes, so any questions until what we have covered in the last class, until where we have covered, any questions? So here the Da Dhatu can be taken in several ways. It need not always be the Dhana Kriya. Sometimes it can be just like in this example, Khandikopadhyayah Shishyaya Chapetam Dadati. Here the Dhatvarthaha Sanyoga Rupam Phalam Tadanukula Vyaparascha. Okay, so Kriyashrayah Khandikopadhyayah Karta. Chapeta Nama Prasrita Karatalam. संयोगरूपं फलं चपेटयाम्। अतः चपेटा कर्म भवति। कर्मभूतया चपेटया कं सम्बन्धुम् अभिप्रैति? कर्मभूतया चपेटया शिष्यम् अभिसम्बन्धुम् अभिप्रैति। अतः शिष्यः सम्प्रदानम्। सो कर्मभूता चपेटा शिष्यं खलु अधिगच्छति, अतः सः सम्प्रदानम्। So here, though it is not actually a vastudana kriya, there is some kind of sanyoga rupam, and the phalam of that samyoga rupam phalam chapetayam asti. So chapeta is a action. In that action, the phalam, phalashrayam asti. Okay, and who is linked to that phalashrayam? That person will get the sampradanam. That word will get sampradanam. Sanya, sampradana sanya bhavati. So here Shishyah Sampradanam. Ataha Shishyaya Chapetam Dadati. Anantaram Chaitraha Rajakaya Vastram Dadati. This also we discussed. So here when we say Rajakaya Vastram Dadati, there are two cases. One is where the Danakriya is there. So here Chaitraha has actually donated some clothes to this Rajaka. And another thing is where he has only given it for washing. So that is not a proper Danakriya. But still it will be taken as a Sampradanam only. So let us see. So Chaitraha Rajakaya Vastram Dadati. Dadhatvartaha Adhinikaranam. Tadanukula Kriyacha. Adhinikaranam. So Adhini, it is a dha dhatu, dharana. Okay. So basically it is a dha dhatu, and how do you say, the position. The meaning of this word will become taking position. Adhini, it will become after several application of several sutras, the dha dhatuhu, it will get na. Okay, so and it will get the ikara adesha. So adhini it becomes. So like this, several sutras will be applied in the process of getting this adhini word from the dha dhatu. And the final word, what it means is, in Telugu also we have this word, adhinam loki teeskodam, ante taking it into your possession, whether it is temporarily or permanently. Temporarily, when the Rajaka has to return the clothes after washing, but until he returns them, they are under his possession. In that sense, here Sampradanam will be assigned. Sampradana sanya bhavati. So adhini karanam tadanukula kriya. Kriyashrayaha chaitraha karta. So always the kriya ashrayaha, the ashrayatvam of the kriya, where it is, that will become the karta. So this dana kriya is being done by chaitraha. So ashrayaha chaitraha. So chaitraha karta. Adhini karana rupam phalam vastre. So what is being taken possession of? The clothes. So that the phalam of that adhini karana rupam is in the vastra. Ataha vastram karma. So the vastram will become karma. Why? Because the object, that possession, taking possession of, is happening in the vastram. Ashrayaha vastram. So vastram will become karma. Karma bhutena vastrena kam sambandhum abhipraiti. Who is, towards whom this karma is pointed at, or the action of taking the possession? By the rajaka. So karma bhutena vastrena rajakam sambandhum abhipraiti. Ataha rajakaha sampradanam. Karma bhutam vastram rajakam khalu adhigacchati. Ataha rajakaha sampradanam. Okay, so here we have to understand that though dadati is used, it is not always complete danakriya, where the complete possession has happened. Sometimes a temporary possession will also happen. Raja vipraya gam dadati. Here the complete danakriya is happening. Da dhatvartaha swaswatva nivritti purvaka paraswa paraswatvaropanam tadanukula kriyacha. So here swaswatva. Swatva means ownership, proprietary. So nivritti. So you are giving away your proprietary or your ownership. You are giving away your ownership. Nivritti purvaka paraswatvaropanam. And the possession is being assigned to somebody else. So right now the cow belongs to me. But after this danakriya, that possession of the cow is completely transferred to another person. Tadanukula kriyacha. So here the da dhatu is taken in that sense, the complete transfer of the ownership. In the previous sentence, the temporary transfer of the ownership, if the clothes are only given for washing and then taking back. Okay. So here the danakriya shrayaha raja karta. So the dana is being done, the danam is being done by Raja. So the ashrayah, the kriyayaha ashrayah Raja. Ataha Raja Karta. Swaswatva nivritti purvaka paraswatvaropanam gavi. So the cow is the object of this transfer of possession. Ataha gauh karma. Karma bhutaya gava Raja kam sambandhum abhipraiti. Through this cow and through his action of giving away, towards whom is this indicated, this action indicated? Karma bhutaya gava vipram abhisambandhum abhipraiti. Ataha vipraha sampradhanam. Karma bhuta gauh vipram khalu adhigacchati. Ataha vipraha sampradhanam. So that is how we take. There are so many other cases of sampradhanam, but they are given later on in the book. So we'll discuss those when we get there. Instead of going back and forth in the book, there are so many cases for sampradhanam. When sampradhana sanya is assigned to a word, so many cases. But let us follow the order given in the book, so there will be less confusion going back and forth instead of going back and forth. But here primarily the dana kriya is explained in these three different ways. One is sanyoga rupam, another one is adhinikaranam, and the third one is swaswatva nivritti purvaka paraswatvaropanam. Means whatever is in your possession, giving it away into somebody else's possession. So that is the complete transfer of ownership. Okay. So any questions until here? Page number is page number 7, Bhagini, Mahalakshmi Bhagini. We are on page number of the kArakam. Okay. So then we go to apadanam. So dhruvam apaye apadanam. That is the sutra, Paniniya Sutra. So here each of these sutra is telling when a word gets that sanya. These are all sanya sutras, you can say. So where a word is given that name. So here dhruvam apaye apadanam. The sampradana sanya, karana sanya, karma sanya, kartra sanya, all these are sanya sutras we say. So here the condition for a word to get a particular sanya, these sutras define that condition. So here dhruvam apaye apadanam. This is the Paniniya Sutra. So here we have dhruvam apaye apadanam. So apayaha means vishleshaha, means viyogaha, means separation, and dhruvam means which is stable. Normal meaning of the word dhruvam in regular sense, wherever you apply the word dhruvam, it is like very stable and firm and like that. But here also we can take it in the same sense, but you will understand as we are looking through the examples. Avadhibhutam means like it is bounded, relatively stable. Okay, it is not like fixed in one position always, but it is relatively stable compared to the second object. Say for example, Parnam Vrikshat Patati. So here separation is happening, but during the separation, which object is the one that is moving? Because of the separation. Because of the separation, there is something moving. Here the Parnam is moving because of the separation. Separation happens from both sides. The Parnam and the Vriksham. When a separation happens, it kind of happens on both ends, you can say. But here the Parnam is the one, the movement is there in Parnam after the separation. Okay. And the other one is fixed. Even during separation, though the separation action involves both objects, one object is stable, dhruvam. Whereas the other object, there is chalanam in it. There is movement in it because of the separation. So the one which is relatively stable is called dhruvam. So here, vrikshaha, anyhow, it is dhruvam only, irrespective of separation or not. But say, for example, we take balakaha Ashwat patati. Dhavatah ashwat patati. So here the Ashwa is running, and from the running horse, the boy falls down. So here Ashvaha is not dhruvam, it is not fixed in one position. But we still apply this sutra and we give the apadana sanya to Ashvam. So that is why here we have to take dhruvam, not in the literal sense of like fixed to one place, but during that separation, when the boy is falling off, there is a separation happening between the horse and the boy. But between the two, because of the fall, who is moving? Because of the fall, the boy is moving. The boy is falling. Ashwa is not falling. Because of the separation, there is no additional movement in Ashwa. It has been running. That running motion is there. But because of this fall or the separation, it is only the boy that is moving. So compared to both of them, the horse is more dhrivam. We can say that Ashvaha dhrivam. So apadana sanya ashvat bhavati. Astu. So here विश्लेषसाध्ये अवधिभूतं कारकम् अपादानं स्यात् इति सूत्रार्थः. विश्लेषसाध्ये, विश्लेष means viyogah, separation. Sadhye means where there is a possibility of separation. Avadhibhutam karakam apadanam syat. Again, avadhibhutam means the one which is more stable. That one will get the apadanam sanya. Vibhagashrayah apadanam bhavati iti phalitartha. So precisely vibhagashrayah. Vibhagam is happening, means viyogam is happening. What is the ashraya for this vibhagam? Where is this viyoga happening? In the parnam, in the vrikshaha. Actually, viyoga is happening in both. The separation is there in both objects. Vibhagashrayah apadanam bhavati iti phalitartha. So the viyoga is happening both in both places. We'll see why only the one of the objects is getting apadana. Okay, we'll come to that shortly. But for now, you understand that wherever there is viyoga, apadanam sanya bhavati. Yatha parnam vrikshat patati. Pat dhatoho artha adhodesha sanyoga rupam phalam tadanukula kriyacha. So patati, pat dhatu means to fall. When do you say something is falling or fell? Adhodeshasya sanyoga rupam phalam. So when it is from wherever it is, if it reaches a lower place, then we say it falls, it fell. Okay, so adhodesha sanyoga rupam phalam tadanukula kriyacha. This is the pat dhatoho arthaha. Patana kriyashrayah parnam kartuhu. So we know that we have studied that the kriya ashrayah, wherever the ashraya of the kriya is, that will become the karta. Here the patana kriya is happening within the parnam. So the ashrayah parnam asti. So parnam will become the karta. So patana kriya ashrayah parnam karta. Avadhibhutah vibhagashrayah vrikshaha. So avadhibhutah means that which is stable, like dhruvam. And it also has vibhagashrayah, vrikshaha. So ataha vrikshaha apadanam. Yatra apadanasya prasaktihi tatra dvayoho sanyuktayoho vibhagah bhavet eva. Yatha atra sanyuktayoho vrikshaparnayoho vibhagah jatah asti. So like what we discussed earlier. Yatra apadanasya prasaktihi. So wherever there is the prasakti of separation, tatra dvayoho sanyuktayoho vibhagah bhaveteva. So there the two objects which are in sanyoga, the viyoga also happens to both of them. It is not like only one gets that viyoga. Whenever two objects are in connection and when there is a separation, that separation happens in both, right? We cannot say only this is separated. When this is separated, automatically the other object is also separated. यथा अत्र संयुक्तयोः वृक्षपर्णयोः विभागः जातः अस्ति. So like how in the vriksha and the parna, the viyoga happens in both vriksha and the parna. Okay. So vibhagaha vrikshe parne cha asti vibhagasya dvinishtatvat. So here vibhagaha means the separation is there both in the vriksha and the parnam. Right? Why? Because the vibhagasya dvinishtatvat means the inherent quality of the vibhaga, the viyoga. Whenever you say viyoga, viyoga cannot happen only with one object. Only when two objects are together, and if a viyoga or a separation happens, it is because both of them have been separated. So whenever we say viyoga or vibhaga, it involves two objects. We cannot say only one object can get the viyoga. So because of that natural inherent quality of the vibhaga, both vriksha and parna, vibhaga vrikshe api asti, parne api asti. Ataha parnam api vibhagashrayah eva. Ityatah parnam api kutah apadanam na bhavati iti shanka jayate. So here vibhagashrayah apadanam vibhagashrayah apadanam iti sutrarthah means where there is vibhaga, the ashraya of the vibhaga, okay, that which is having the ashraya of the separation, that is getting apadanam. That is what the sutra says. But now we are saying the vibhaga will be there in both the objects. It cannot be only in one object. Viyoga, whenever there is separation, that separation happens in both the objects that have been together before. So then parnam also should have vibhaga. So parnam api vibhaga ashrayah. So why parnam is not getting apadana sanya? That is the question here. अतः पर्णमपि विभागाश्रयः एव इत्यतः पर्णमपि कुतः अपादानं न भवति इति शंका जायते. It is possible for us to get that doubt. Tatra idam samadhanam. So how we can answer this is given here. Parnam yatha vibhagashrayah tatha patanakriyashrayah api. So parnam here has two qualities. One is vibhagashrayah. It is the ashraya of the vibhaga, of the separation. It is also ashraya of the patanakriya. We have discussed that earlier. The patanakriya is happening within the parnam. So parnam is kriya ashrayah, right? And we already know kriya ashrayah karta bhavati. Okay, so this parnam should get karta sanya api, and because of the vibhagashrayah, it should get the apadana sanya api. So it should get two sanyas, apadana sanya, karta sanya, kartru sanya. Ataha vibhagashrayatvat parnam apadana sanyakam patanakriyashrayatvat kartru sanyakam api. Okay. So because of the vibhagashraya, it should get apadana sanya, and because of patanakriya it should get kartru sanya. Ekasya eva dvayoho prasaktau parasanya eva kartavya. So now again we have another sutra, and what that sutra says is wherever two sutras are applicable in equal strength, Paniniya sutras. Okay. Wherever two sutras are applicable with equal strength, which one to take? Parasanya. The latter sutra only should be taken. And how do you decide which is prior and which is latter? From the sutra sankhya. The sutra sankhya, like we have ashtadhyayi. So 8 adhyayas are there. Each adhyaya has 4 padas. So there is a sankhya, right? So whichever is has a later sankhya, that will take priority. When two sutras are applicable in a particular situation, which one to apply? The second, the latter one, the one which comes after the previous one, that will take the priority. अष्टाध्याय्याम् अपादानसंज्ञायाः अपेक्षया कर्तृसंज्ञा एव परा. So the अपादानसंज्ञा सूत्र संख्या किम? So प्रथमोऽध्याये चतुर्थपादे चतुर्विंशतिः श्लोका सूत्रम. And here the कर्तृसंज्ञा is again प्रथमोऽध्याये चतुर्पादे चतुर्पञ्चाशत्, right? 54th sutra. That is the 24th sutra. So the 54th sutra comes later to the 24th. So the kartru sanya takes priority. So here the parnam, the word parnam, it gets both sanya. But which one takes priority as per Paniniya Sutra? This also has been given by Panini only, this sutra also. So it will take the kartru sanya. So parnam will get kartru sanya and vriksham will get apadana sanya. So the sentence becomes vrikshat parnam patati. Okay. अतः पर्णस्य कर्तृसंज्ञा एव न तु अपादानसंज्ञा. अत्र प्रमाणं. So based on what are we telling this? प्रमाणं किम् अत्र? विप्रतिषेधे परं कार्यम् इति सूत्रम्. Okay. यथा वा. Okay, before going to those examples, let us look at this sutra. Vipratishedhe param karyam. What is vipratishedha? Okay, so
మహోదయ ఇది ఒకసారి తెలుగులో బ్రీఫ్ చెప్పరా మహోదయ?
చెప్తాను. సో ఇప్పుడు ఇక్కడ అంటే మనము అపాదాన సంజ్ఞ దేనికి వస్తుంది అనే దాని గురించి ఈ సూత్రం చెప్తుంది. అపాదాన సంజ్ఞ దేనికి వస్తుంది? ధ్రువం అపాయే అపాదానం. అపాయః అంటే వియోగః అంటే సెపరేషన్. ఓకే, విభాగం, వియోగః, విశ్లేషః. అపాయం అనగా అది. సో ఇక్కడ అపాయం దేని యందైతే అంటే ఆ వియోగాశ్రయః ఎక్కడైతే ఏ పదంలో అయితే ఉంటుందో దానికి అపాదాన సంజ్ఞ కలుగుతుంది. ఓకేనా? సో ఇక్కడ ఏమంటున్నారు? సెపరేషన్ ఎప్పుడైతే జరిగిందో, వియోగం ఎప్పుడైతే జరిగిందో అది ఒక వస్తువు యందే ఉండదు. వియోగం అనేది ఏ రెండు వస్తువులు కలిసి ఉన్నాయో ఆ రెండు విడినప్పుడు ఆ వియోగం అనేది రెండింటి యందు ఉంటుంది కదా. ఒక దాంట్లోనే వియోగం ఉంది, రెండో దాంట్లో వియోగం లేదు అని అనలేము. రెండు వస్తువులు కలిసి ఉన్నప్పుడు వాటి మధ్య సెపరేషన్, వియోగం కలిగినప్పుడు రెండింటి యందు వియోగం ఉంటుంది. సో ఇప్పుడు ఇక్కడ వియోగాశ్రయ విభాగాశ్రయ అపాదానం అంటున్నాం. అంటే వియోగం దేని యందైతే ఉందో దానికి అపాదాన సంజ్ఞ కలుగుతుంది అని చెప్తున్నాం. ఈ సూత్రం అలా చెప్తోంది. మరి ఇక్కడ వృక్షము పర్ణము ఆ రెండిటి యందు వియోగం కలిగినప్పుడు వృక్షమందు కూడా విభాగాశ్రయం ఉంది, పర్ణమందు కూడా విభాగాశ్రయం ఉంది. మరి వృక్షానికి మాత్రమే అపాదాన సంజ్ఞ ఎందుకు ఇస్తున్నాము? పర్ణంకి కూడా రావాలి కదా. అపాదాన సంజ్ఞ పర్ణంకి కూడా రావాలి. కానీ పర్ణంకి విభాగాశ్రయం ఎలా ఉందో పతన క్రియా ఆశ్రయ కూడా ఉంది, క్రియా ఆశ్రయ కూడా ఉంది. పతన క్రియ పర్ణమందే జరుగుతోంది. ఆ పతనం అనేది, ఆ ఫాల్ అనేది పర్ణమందే ఉంది. సో క్రియా ఆశ్రయం కూడా పర్ణమందే ఉంది. సో పర్ణంలో రెండు ఉన్నాయి. ఏంటది? విభాగాశ్రయము, పతనాశ్రయము, క్రియా ఆశ్రయము. అంతకుముందు మనం ఏం చదివాము? క్రియా ఆశ్రయము ఉన్న పదానికి కర్తృ సంజ్ఞ వస్తుంది అని చదివాం. ఇక్కడ పర్ణం అనే పదానికి విభాగాశ్రయం ద్వారా అపాదానము రావాలి, పతన క్రియా ఆశ్రయ ద్వారా కర్తృ సంజ్ఞ కూడా రావాలి. ఇప్పుడు ఈ రెండిట్లో ఏది తీసుకోవాలి? రెండు వస్తున్నాయి, ఏది తీసుకోవాలి అనే సంశయం వస్తుంది. అప్పుడు మనం ఇంకొక సూత్రం ఉంది. ఏంటా సూత్రము?
క్షమాతం భగిని, పేజ్ నంబర్
7.
Page number 7. Is it an explanation for personal, or can you say it again in English?
This is we are on page number 7, Bhagini. I've already explained in English.
Okay.
the same in Telugu. సో విప్రతిషేధే పరం కార్యం అనే పాణినీయ సూత్రం ద్వారా మనం ఏం చేస్తున్నామంటే ఇప్పుడు ఈ పర్ణం అనే పదానికి రెండు సంజ్ఞలు వచ్చినాయి. ఒకటి అపాదాన సంజ్ఞ విభాగాశ్రయం ద్వారా, రెండోది కర్తృ సంజ్ఞ పతన క్రియా ఆశ్రయ వలన. సో ఈ రెండిట్లో ఏది తీసుకోవాలి అనే సంశయం ఉన్నప్పుడు ఈ సూత్రం విప్రతిషేధే పరం కార్యం అనే సూత్రం ద్వారా పరం కార్యం ఎప్పుడైనా రెండు సూత్రాలుకి సమాన బలంతో అవి ఎన్ఫోర్స్మెంట్ లోకి వచ్చినప్పుడు పరం సూత్రానికే ప్రాధాన్యత వస్తుంది. అదే వస్తుంది అన్నమాట ఆ సందర్భంలో. ఇక్కడ పరము పూర్వము ఎలా చెప్తాము? సూత్ర సంఖ్యల్ని బట్టి. సో ఇక్కడ అపాదాన సూత్ర సంఖ్య ఏంటి? మొదటి అధ్యాయంలో 4వ పాదంలో 24వ శ్లోకం అది. ఈ కర్తృ సంజ్ఞా సూత్రం నంబర్ ఏంటి? మొదటి అధ్యాయం 4వ పాదం 54వ సూత్రం. సో అక్కడ 24, ఇక్కడ 54. సో 54 పరం అవుతుంది కాబట్టి ఈ కర్తృ సంజ్ఞానే పర్ణం అనే పదానికి వస్తుంది. ఓకేనా? సో ఇప్పుడు ఈ విప్రతిషేధే పరం కార్యం. లెట్ us look at this sutra a little bit. So here this is a so tulya bala sutrayoho samanasthale praptihi asti chet parasutrasya eva prayogah bhavati. So tulya balam, tulya means samanam, balam means strength. Tulya bala sutrayoho, when two sutras have the same strength, means they can be applied equally. There is no way you can identify this applies more than that. Both are equally applicable in a particular case. Then samanasthale praptihi asti chet, if they are applicable in one situation equally with equal strength, parasutrasya eva prayogah bhavati. Okay, the sutra that comes later. And how are we determining whether it is later or before? By the sutra sankhya, whatever the sankhya of that sutra is. So whichever comes later will be effective in that particular case. Okay. So here, what is vipratishedaha? It is just a term. Okay. How is the term used? Is yatra dvau prasaktau anyarthau ekasmin yugapat prapnutaha saha tulya bala virodhaha vipratishedaha. So vipratishedaha, that word, what it means is two sutras. They have their own domains. Okay, they are applicable in their own domains independently, they don't have any interdependency. These two sutras don't have any interdependency. They both have their own domains. They are applicable in various situations. But they can also have a situation where they both are applicable in a particular situation. They are equally strong. They are applicable in that particular situation. In such a case, they are called vipratishedaha. That how do you say? Then that kind of situation you can say is vipratishedaha. Okay. So in that case, this sutra comes into application, and the param karyam, param sutram, the sutra that comes later, that holds sankhya which is later, will be effective.
Bhagini ekavaram sutram punah vadatu va kripaya.
Vipratisheedhe param karyam.
Tasya vivaranam.
So basically vipratisheedha means when two sutras have their own domains and they are applicable independently of each other. Okay. But in a particular situation, both are applicable equally. They have equal strength in application, like in this case. In this example, the word parnam can get apadana sanya as well as kartru sanya. Both are equally applicable because this parnam has vibhagashrayatvam as well as patanakriya ashrayatvam. It has both ashrayas equally. There is no one is more than the other. There is no such case. So here, according to dhruvam apaye apadanam, it will get apadana sanya. With the kartru sanya, it will get swatantraha karta. With that sanya, it will get the kartru sanya, because kriya ashrayaha, it is kriya ashrayaha also, so it will get the kartru sanya. So both are equally applicable. Which one to take? In such a case, we apply this sutra. Vipratishedhe. Vipratishedhe means when the situation is in Vipratisheda. This is called that Vipratisheda. When two sutras are applicable equally in one situation. Okay, then Param Sutram or Param Karyam. So the latter one come into effect. So here, according to the Sankhya, the Kartru Sanya will take priority. Swatantraha Karta. The sutra number is 1.4.54. Whereas the Apadana Sutra Sankhya is 1.4.24. So the 54 is Param. So this will take priority, and the Paranam will get Kartru Sanya only. It will not get the Apadana Sanya. So that is Vipratishe.
Hode. Harvo.
Yes, Bhagini.
మరి మీరు అశ్వహ బాలక కూడా చెప్పారు కదా, అక్కడ ఇద్దరు చలనం కదా, అక్కడ మరి కర్తు ఏది ఎలా?
ఇప్పుడు ఆ రెండింట్లో when we compare the Ashwa and the Balakaha, Dhruvam, see the Patana Kriya, there also Ashvat Balakaha Patati. Patana Kriya Ashrayaha Balake Asti Kalu. So ade priority తీసుకుంటుంది. Again, there also Vipratishede Param Karyam.
Okay.
So whenever we have this Viyogaha, Vibhagaha, whenever there is separation, the Bhagashrayaha will be in both. But one of them will become Karta because of this Vipratishede Param Karyam Sutram.
Mahode, Krupaya, shortly brief explanation in Telugu Vipratishede, please.
Vipratishedha means when in Telugu you are asking. So rendu sutralu kanaka oka vishayamlo rendu sutralaki samana balam unnappudu. ఇప్పుడు ఈ పర్ణం ఉంది. ఈ పర్ణం ఈ వాక్యంలో అపాదాన సంజ్ఞ వస్తుంది, దానికి కర్తృ సంజ్ఞ వస్తుంది. రెండు బలంగా ఉన్నాయి. రెండు సూత్రాల యొక్క ప్రభావము ఇక్కడ ఉంది.
ఓకే.
కానీ అలాంటి పరిస్థితిలో మనం ఏది తీసుకోవాలి అనే సంశయం వచ్చినప్పుడు విప్రతిషేధే పరం కార్యం అనే సూత్రాన్ని మనం గుర్తు తెచ్చుకుని, విప్రతిషేధ అంటేనే రెండు సూత్రాలకి ఒకటేసారి ఒక సందర్భమందు అప్లై చేసే సందర్భం ఉన్నట్లయితే వాటిల్లో పరంగా వచ్చే సూత్రం మాత్రమే అక్కడ తీసుకోవాలి మనం. పరం అంటే సంఖ్యను బట్టి, సూత్ర సంఖ్యను బట్టి ఏది బిగ్గర్ సంఖ్య ఉందో దాన్ని మనం తీసుకోవాలి. అర్థమైందా భగిని?
అర్థమైంది. అంటే ఇక్కడ బాలక పర్ణము అది రెండు అంతే కదా?
అంతే. సో పర్ణం పతతి, అతః పర్ణం విభాగాశ్రయः अपि अस्ति पर्णे, क्रियाश्रयः अपि अस्ति पर्णे. किमर्थं? పతనక్రియ పర్ణే अस्ति. పతనక్రియ అంతే కదా, ఆ క్రియ ఎవరు చేస్తున్నారు? పర్ణం కదా పడేది, అందుకని దాని అందే ఉంది క్రియా. సో ద పర్ణం వర్డ్ హస్ బోత్ ఆశ్రయత్వాస్. ద విభాగాశ్రయం అపి అస్తి పర్ణే, పతనాశ్రయः अपि अस्ति. కింటు అట్లాంటి సిచ్యువేషన్ నే మనం విప్రతిషేధ అంటాం. సో విప్రతిషేధం ఉన్నప్పుడు పరం కార్యం షుడ్ బి టేకెన్. సో లాటర్ వన్ సూత్ర సంఖ్యా ప్రకారము కర్తృ సంజ్ఞాని సూచించే స్వతంత్ర కర్త సూత్రం సంఖ్య పెద్దది. సో అది పరం అంటే తర్వాత వచ్చే సూత్రం, అందుకని అదే వచ్చి ఈ పర్ణం అనే పదానికి కర్తృ సంజ్ఞ వస్తుంది. Any other questions?
This is Narayanan. So I got your, the bhava. So what is the indication? What is the stress? Why you are giving to the second one? Parna, right? What is the, significance?
So here, basically, separation can happen when two things are pulled away,
Right.
right? Among them, of course, one might be stable for whatever reason.
Right.
Things can be pulled apart from both sides, or though they are separated, one can remain stable because of whatever reason, or gravity or whatever.
Right.
So here, how to easily remember this is, the one that is stable between the two, the one that is stable has will get the apadana sanya. Okay, that is the easy way you can try to remember. The more stable one will get the apadana sanya. Now to explain it more technically, how do you say is vibhaga happens in both the
No,
separation. There is-
I got all those things. I understood everything what you
why
said.
in Parnam is coming, I am getting to that through this.
Okay.
Okay, so here the Parnam is the one that is actually falling. So the Kriya Ashrayam also is there in the Parna. Because Vriksha is the stable one, that Patana Kriya is not happening in the Vriksha. It is more stable. So here this Parnam is having the Patana Kriya Ashrayatvam api asti Parne, Vibhaga Ashrayam api asti Parne. The separation is there in both Vriksha and the Parnam. But the Parnam, in addition to the separation, it also has the Patana Kriya Ashrayam. It is the one that is actually falling. So that Ashrayatvam of the Kriya is there in the Parnam. So now two Ashrayatvams are there in Parnam. One is the Vibhaga Ashrayatvam, the Ashrayam. It is also the Ashrayam of the separation. Because the separation is also happening with the Parna. So it is the Ashrayam for the Vibhaga as well as Ashrayam for the Kriya. Now, which one to take? If you consider Parnam as the Ashrayatvam for Vibhaga, you have to give it Apadana Sanya. If you consider it as having the Patana Kriya Ashrayatvam, then you have to give the Kartru Sanya. So Parnam is qualified to have either Apadana Sanya or Kartru Sanya. Both are equally applicable. One is not more dominant than the other. Now, which one will you apply? There is a samshayam there. Which one to take? This Parnam word has two Ashrayatvams. Based on the Vibhaga Ashrayatvam, it should get Apadana Sanya. Based on the Kriya Ashrayam, it should get Kartru Sanya. Now, which one should I assign to Parnam? It cannot have both. So that is when we look at this Vipratishedhe Param Karyam Sutram. And as per that Sutram, when such a situation is there, then we take the Sutra that comes later. So this Kartru Sanya, the Sutra that assigns Kartru Sanya, comes later, just based on the Sutra number. So we give Parnam Kartru Sanya based on that Sutra.
Got it. Thanks, madam. I think I got it.
भगिनी एक प्रश्न अस्ति कर्तृ संज्ञा and apadanam sanya. Sanya is a, so now for example parna is separated from the tree, okay? So that is apadana. So I can put a fifth vibhakti to that. The sanyak is a vibhakti they are talking about.
So here there are two things. I mentioned this in the very beginning, but of course
No,
it
I understood that. Okay, sorry.
Can get
so-
confusing. So let me again repeat.
Yeah.
Two things. One is the kArakam, the Karaka Sanya, and then the Vibhakti associated with it.
Okay.
So first we have to identify the kArakam. That is the Sanya, the Apadana Karakam means Apadana Sanya.
Okay.
Kartru Karakam means that word gets a Kartru Sanya. Sanya means name. When you say Ramaha Pustakam Pathati, Rama is the Karta. So that Rama word gets a Kartru Sanya. That is why you are saying Rama is Karta.
Okay.
Okay. That is the name of that Karakam.
Okay.
And each Karakam is assigned a Vibhakti which will come after this section. So first we are trying to identify how a word gets a particular karaka sanya. When does it get apadana sanya? When does it get kartru sanya? When does it get karma sanya? These are the things we are discussing right now. After that, after this section, the word which gets karma sanya, what vibhakti does it get? The word that gets karana sanya, what vibhakti does it get? That we'll discuss in the next section.
Okay, so this is a two separate issue about the identifying the sanya, and then the
Yes.
second step is how we will give the vibhakti depending upon how we gave the name to the sanya particular situation.
Yes. And why we are separating these two is because though a word gets karma sanya, say for example, in some cases it can be dvitiya vibhakti, in some cases it can be prathama vibhakti.
True.
So when it will get a dvitiya vibhakti, when it will get prathama vibhakti, such things we'll discuss. So it is not a hard and fast rule that a word will get only one vibhakti. And a vibhakti can be given irrespective of the karakam. Sometimes a word can be given tritiya vibhakti, though it does not have the karana sanya. So vibhakti has more to it than just the relation with the karakam. One of the qualities of a vibhakti is it is associated with one karakam. But then apart from that, it has other roles where a word can get the vibhakti. There are other factors. So that is why these two are separated. That is the main purpose of this kArakam class, because we get confused there only. We always associate one vibhakti with one kArakam only. So whenever you see vibhakti, you immediately say, oh, this is karana karakam. Whenever you see tritiya vibhakti, you tend to say that. But we have to identify that the karana sanya is given in this case, and we have to differentiate between a karaka vibhakti and upapada vibhakti and other vibhaktis.
Okay, so all this sampradanam, apadanam, iti sarva karana sanya karanam.
These are all karakams, and they are karaka sanya, means that particular. See, there are 6 karakams. The first karakam name is kartru karakam. The second is karma karakam. Third one is karana karakam, sampradana karakam.
Okay.
Like that, there are 6 karakams, and each of these are the different kinds of karakams.
Okay. Now I understand the position of karakam into whole situation. Dhanyavad, Bhagini.
Astu.
Bhagini, you really take a lot of pain to explain to us. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Bhagini. So any other questions in the apadana karakam? Then we'll see the sentences given.
Madam, namaste.
మేడం నాకు అది వర్ణం అపాదాన సంజ్ఞ అనేది నాకు ఇంకా సరిగా అర్థం కాలేదు మేడం.
ఓకే, సో మనకి
క్షమాపణ మాకు చెప్తున్నారు, బట్ స్టిల్ ఇంకా నాకు అర్థం కాలేదు.
డోంట్ వరీ బికాజ్
కన్ఫ్యూజింగ్ గానే ఉంది మేడం.
Yeah. Any of you, please don't worry if you are not, if it is still confusing. Why? Because this topic itself is like that. It is confusing. And another thing is, when we first did the vibhaktis in the Pravesha and those courses, they are all given together. There is no clear distinction given about the Karakam and Karaketara Sambandhas and all that. So our brain was not trained to think in that way. So now whatever we have studied earlier, we are studying now the same things in a more technical way, applying as per the Paniniya Sutras. So it will take a while for us again to train our mind to think or look at the words in a different way. So that is perfectly fine. That is all part of learning. So what I always recommend to people is, don't get discouraged if you are not able to understand something, because all these take time. We have to constantly think in those lines for a while before our brain absorbs it completely. So if we get discouraged, we tend not to try more, and then we kind of give up. So don't do that. That is only thing that I request from all of you. Even if it is confusing, no worries. You can always ask and we can discuss again, because all these won't happen overnight. And especially some of you are coming straight from Shiksha, right? You haven't studied any other course. You just did your Pravesha, Parichaya. Some of you are in Shiksha and some of you are in Povida. So again, because of that also you will be feeling the difficulty, because all of us are a little bit more, we have done a little bit more than just the Pravesha and Parichaya. So that Adhyayanam has already happened with some of us. So some of us can grasp it a little faster than the others, only because we have been thinking in those lines for a longer period of time. So that is the only difference between, among us. So don't worry about this. So here, apadana sanya putra bhavati vibhagashraye bhavati. So which word has the vibhaga ashrayatvam, that word will get apadanam. That is what the sutram says. And the one additional point the sutram is offering is, among the two things that have the vibhaga, the dhruvam, that which is relatively more stable than the other. Okay, that will get the apadana. That is a simpler way of putting it. So if you notice here, the vrikshasya patanakriya ashrayah nasti. Kevalam vibhagashrayatvam eva asti. So this vibhagashrayatvam, we have to remember that it takes two to make a clap, right? We say that all the time. It takes two to do such certain things. Rendu చేతులు కలిపితేనే చప్పుడు అవుతుంది అంటాం. Similarly, separation also takes two. Two things are equally involved in a separation. Like how two things are equally involved in a joint, in a sanyoga. Similarly, two things are equally involved in a separation. That you understand, then it will become, everything will become easy. So because it takes two things for a separation, vrikshasya api vibhagashrayatvam asti, parnasya api vibhagashrayatvam asti. Kalu bagini?
Yes, madam.
Here Parnam has vibhagashrayatvam, but it is the patana kriya is also happening within Parnam. So it has a kriya ashrayatvam also.
Yes, madam.
Okay, now you understood?
Yes, madam. Yes.
We always think when the leaf is falling, it is the leaf that the vibhagashrayatvam. The vriksha is there only, stable. So how can we think that vrikshasya vibhagashrayatvam asti? Our initial thought will be like that. But because of gravity, maybe it did not move. But whenever separation is there, that separation happens in both. We can also say the tree is separated from the leaf. But why are we not saying that? Because the one that is moving, because of the separation, the chalanam is happening only in the parna. Why? Because of the patana kriya. And why is the patana kriya happening here? Because of the gravity. And why is this gravity not applying to vriksha? Because it is already fixed, rooted. So there is no additional thing that can be applied to vriksha. So if you look at the tree flying in the air, say for example, and you hit it, okay, then the leaves will fall off. There also the gravity applies to the tree as well as the leaf. Both will be falling down, right? So whenever there is separation, both
ma'am.
equally involved, but because of a few other factors, one appears that it is not moving. So vibhagashrayatvam katham atra iti samshayah jatah. Kintu whenever there is separation, it cannot happen just in one. It has to happen in the two objects that are being separated. So if you think like that, then the vibhagashrayatvam vrikshe api asti, parne api asti. That is how you can understand why parnam has the vibhagashrayatvam. Okay. So let us.
మ్యామ్ ఇక్కడ అశ్వాత్ పద్ధతి అని ఒక ఉదాహరణ మనం తీసుకున్నాం అనుకోండి. అందులో కూడా మనకి ఇప్పుడు అశ్వము అన్నది అది కూడా పరిగెడుతోంది, అది అంటే మూవబుల్ ఇదిలోనే ఉంది. ఈ బాలుడు ఎవడైతే ఉన్నాడో అతను కింద పడిపోయాడు. ఇప్పుడు మనకి విభాగం అంటే అనేది మనకి బాలుడికి సంబంధించింది అవుతోంది కదా, కానీ మన అశ్వాత్ అని దానికి ఎందుకు పెడుతున్నట్టున్నాం?
Same as in the before case also. So here balakasya vibhagashrayatvam api asti, patanakriya ashrayatvam api asti. Padeti baludu kada, balaha is the one who is falling. The horse is not falling, it is running. It has running and it is still running.
Okay.
But it did not fall. Ippudu say for example, if you say Ashvaha parvatat patati, dhavataha Ashvaha, dhavan Ashvaha parvatat patati annam ankondi. So here the Ashva is running and then it fell. The parvata. Then the Ashva now has two ashrayatvams. One is the patanakriya ashrayatvam, because it is falling off the mountain. And then vibhaga ashrayatvam, because it's getting separated from the parvata. Parvata has only one ashrayatvam, vibhaga ashrayatvam. So here Ashva will not get the apadana sanya, it will get only kartru sanya. It is eligible to get apadana sanya also, but because of vipratishede param karyam, it will get only kartru sanya, and the parvatam will get apadana sanya. So parvatat ashvaha patati. So it is all relative. That is what I'm saying. Here everything is relative.
Now I understood, madam, thoroughly. Thank you, madam.
Okay, Bhagini.
Thoroughly.
మహోదయ ధ్రువం అంటే ఏంటి?
Dhrivam ante,
Thank you, madam.
which is more stable, relatively stable. Ante, to use the word dhrivam in a regular context, it is perfectly stable, something that is fixed. But in this context, how you look at it is still stable, but relative. When the Ashva is running, the Balakaha fell off. So between the two, because of the separation, the Balakaha got additional chalanam. There is additional motion in the Balakaha. Whereas the Ashvasya motion is still the same from before. Because of the separation, there is nothing additional happening to the Ashva. Because of that Viyoga, only the Balakaha is falling off, the Ashva is not falling. So compared to the two, the Ashva is more stable, Dhruvam. So the one that is Dhruvam will get Apadana. That is a simpler way of saying. But the logic behind all that is, because the Balakaha also will have the Apadana Ashrayatvam Asti, Kintu Kevalam, because of the Vipratishedhe Param Karyam, he will get the Kartru Sanya, the Balaka word will get Kartru Sanya, and only the Ashvaha will get Apadana Sanya.
Udaya,
Yes.
if two trains are running in opposite direction, so they are being separated.
They are being separated?
Because they are moving away from each other.
But there is no sanyoga before. They are just...
No. Yeah, at one point they approached each other and then they are separated.
So you are saying, is there a sanyoga, complete sanyoga before the separation?
Yeah, they only meet at a point and later on they separate.
How do they meet? That is what I'm asking.
At a particular point, both the trains, they come to the same point.
But in the case of trains, they run parallelly, right? They cannot, like I see what you are trying to ask. So say for example, there is a meeting point, say for example, two, what do you say, bogies are there attached, and now they are separated and move in opposite directions. Then which one will get the Apadana and which one will get the
Kartrupada.
So it depends on how we frame that sentence. We
Okay.
depend it depends on how we are framing that sentence. If you want to say bhogi A and bhogi B are there, okay? So bhogi A and B are attached. Now you disjointed them. You removed the link between the two, and both are moving in separate directions. So how we are going to put it in a sentence? It depends on that. So how can we say that in English we will say both bhogis are moving in opposite directions after they are disconnected.
Yes.
So when we are saying that, we are not trying to say this is moving away from, if you say bhogi B is moving away from bhogi A, then only apadana comes into picture.
Okay.
For simply saying A and B are moving away from each other, how do we say that in Samskritam? From each other. That is the key point.
Apadanam na bhavati.
Kimartham?
Parasparam viyogam na bhavati.
Kimartham?
Paraspara viyogam na kalu bagini. Main train nunchi kada vidatesaru.
There is no stability in one. Both are moving.
Okadani ante they are not interdependent kada bagini.
They are not dependent on each other.
They are independent of each other and they have become separated from the main entity.
No, you imagine just two bogies are there on a railway track.
Okay.
Okay, they both are attached. Now you removed the link between the two and you pulled both of them on either side. That is what Mahodaya was asking.
Then it is as you said, it is if you want A to be detached from B, then it will be
only then
apadana to B.
Both get the Gamana Kriya now, madam.
If you want to detach B from A, then A will be the apadana kriya, apadana karta.
Sanya.
Sanya, sorry.
Otherwise, both of them get Gamana Kriya.
It can't be both, kada.
Oh no. Parasparat, we have to say.
Parasparat viyogaha.
Parasparat is actually an indeclinable. I don't know if we can apply vibhakti for that. Parasparam viyogaha.
Parasparam viyogam ani cheppachemo.
Actually, Paraspara is there in Pumlinga and Napumsakalinga also. So Parasparat is a Shuddham Prayogam eva. So Parasparat Viyogaha Bhavati. From each other. That is how we can take.
Okay.
So here what is happening? Viyogaha. So Viyogaha will become the Karta. Viyogaha Bhavati. Viyogaha Bhavati. Yeah. So Kutra Parasparat. In that sense, we can tell. Like I said, it is always how you want to express. If you want to say B is moved away from A, then that is how you say. Then A will get the apadana sanya. If you want to say A is pulled away from B, then B will get apadana sanya. If you want to say both, then parasparat viyogaha bhavati.
Okay. Thank you, madam.
But in the example you said the paraspara for both bogies, the bhumi is the ashraya, right? We can't take that way. The bhumi is the ashraya. From there it is get, that's
where that will become adhikaranam. That it is not the ashrayatvam of separation.
Okay, got it.
That is only the object. So that comes under adhikarana ashrayam.
అంటే మహోదయ ఇప్పుడు భోగిస్ కు అపదానం అలా ఏం చెప్పరాదా ఉండదు అంటున్నారా?
ఉంటుంది. అదే ఇఫ్ యూ వాంట్ టు సే భోగి ఏ నుంచి బిని విడదీశాము అని చెప్తేనేమో అప్పుడు ఏకి అపాదాన సంజ్ఞ వస్తుంది. బి నుంచి విడదీశాము అని చెప్తే బికి అపాదాన సంజ్ఞ వస్తుంది. రెండింటిని రెండు వైపులా లాగబడిని ఆ రెండు వైపులా అంటే పరస్పరాత్మకః భవతి అనొచ్చు అని చెప్తున్నా.
పరస్పర అంటే ఇప్పుడు రెండు గమని ఇప్పుడు ఒకటి తీసి ఇంకొక దానికి ఇంకొకటి తీసి రెండు వెళ్ళిపోయినాయి అనుకోండి, అప్పుడు ఎలా? అదే పరస్పర అంటున్నారా మీరు?
కరెక్ట్. దట్ ఓన్లీ వి కెన్ రిప్రజెంట్ సేయింగ్ యూజింగ్ ద వర్డ్ పరస్పరం.
Okay.
పరస్పరమైన దానికి కూడా అపాదానం అది కావాలి కదా మహోదయ.
అందుకే పరస్పరాత్ పంచమి.
ఓకే ఓకే పరస్పరాత్. ఓకే ఓకే.
From each other.
ధన్యవాదాలు.
They are
అచ్చా అచ్చా.
separated from each other. That is how we can
ఓహో.
say. So their kriya ashrayatvam cannot be included in the bhogis because we are simply saying they are moved away from each other. So
both have gamana kriya. Both are having gamana kriya. So one is not stable. Adharam dhruvam is not there here.
If you want to say A is moved away, we can only say when we want to put the kriya ashrayatvam, then only we can take. We cannot say both.
Yes, because there is no one, not one of them is stable.
The only way we can say is both the bhogis are moving in opposite direction. Like
Yes.
that we can say. Then apadanam again will not come into picture. When we want to use the apadanam, we have to say both are pulled away from each other in that sense. Then the kriya ashrayatvam will not be there. So it all depends on how we write the sentence.
Bhagini, I have written this sentence. Just see whether I have done it correctly. Once I'll read it out. Because the parna gets both the vibhaga ashraya, that is apadana, and patanashraya, that is kartrasanya, kriya ashraya, that is, we take kartrasanya for the parna. Therefore, when there is a dilemma between two formulae, then the later one, that is para, only can be applicable.
Yes,
is that
correct? Correct.
Dhanyawad.
For the sutra sankhya, that parat,
the para means the sutra sankhya, the later sutra sankhya and raskunta.
Correct. The paratvam is determined by the sutra sankhya. And the sutra that supports this is Vipratishedhe param karyam.
Astu.
So here Krishnaha Gokulat agachati. We are on page number 8. We are looking at the sentences. So Krishnaha Gokulat agachati. Agamana kriyashramaha Krishnaha karta. Sanyuktayoho Krishna Gokulayoho Krishnasya agamanena vibhagaha jataha. Tada avadibhutaha vibhagashrayah Gokulam. Ataha Gokulam apadanam. So once we have understood why the Krishnaha, or in the previous case Parnam, is getting the Kartrasanya, we don't have to discuss that every single time. We only say Samyuktayoho Krishna Gokulayoho. Okay, the ones that are joined, the Krishna and the Gokula, Krishnasya agamanena vibhagaha jataha, because Krishna came. Okay, agamanena, because of his arrival, the vibhaga, the viyoga happened. Viyoga between Krishna and Gokula. Tada avadibhutaha vibhagashrayah. Avadibhutaha, that which is more dhruvam. Okay, that which is stable. Vibhag, and also vibhagashrayah, that is Gokulam. Ataha Gokulam apadanam. Okay, in every single time you need not say Krishna also has vibhagashrayah, but he also has kriya ashrayah. Because of Vipratishede param karyam, he gets only the kartrasanya. This need not be explained with every single time that you mention which one gets apadanam, but it is important for you to understand, just in case sometimes when there is a dilemma, the sentence is not very clear, one is not as dhruvam like a Gokulam or a Parvatam or a Vriksham, then we get, okay, which one here will get apadanam. Then you need to apply this. Okay, the patana kriya, the kriya ashrayah kutra asti. With that you can distinguish which one will get the kartru sanya and which one will get the apadana sanya. When that clarity is not there, you should have this knowledge so you can apply to identify. But every single time you need not mention all that explanation. But in your mind you should have it. So pantaha parvatat avarohati. Avarohana kriya ashrayah pantaha pantaha karta. Sanyuktayoho pantha parvatayoho avarohanena vibhagah jatah. Avarohanam means climbing down. Because of this action of climbing down, there is a viyoga, vibhaga. Tada avadibhutah vibhagashrayah parvatah. So the parvata is the one more stable. Avadibhutah means relatively more stable, dhruvam. And also vibhagashrayatvam api asti, parvate. Atah parvatah apadanam. Okay. And pantaha will be karta. Khagaha vrikshat dayate. Dayana kriya ashrayaha khagaha karta. So the dayana kriya is in the khaga. Khaga means bird. Dayanam means to fly. So the dayana kriya is there in khaga. So kriya ashrayaha khage asti. Sanyuktayoho khaga vrikshayoho dayanena vibhagah jatah. Because of the bird flying, the vibhaga has happened. Tada avadibhutah vibhagashrayah vrikshaha. Vrikshaha is the more stable one and vibhagashrayatvam api asti. Ataha vrikshaha apadanam. Okay, so vrikshaha will get the apadana sanya. The dayana kriya ashrayah khagaha karta bhavati. Okay, any questions?
No, ma'am.
Okay.
Agni. కృష్ణ గోకులాత్ ఆగచ్చతి అన్నారు. అక్కడ సెపరేషన్ ఎక్కడ ఉంది భగిని?
గోకులం నుండి అతను బయటికి వచ్చేసాడు కదా, అక్కడి నుంచి వియోగం అయింది కదా.
ఓకే 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 భగిని, అర్థమైంది ఇప్పుడు.
పాఠశాలాయాః బాలకః గృహం ఆగచ్చతి, గృహాత్ ఆలయం గచ్చతి. ఇక్కడన్నీ కూడా ఆల్ దీస్ సెంటెన్సెస్ యూ కెన్ టేక్ యాజ్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ ఫర్ అపాదాన సంజ్ఞ.
ఓకే ఓకే, థ్యాంక్ యూ భగిని.
అనంతరం అధికరణం. Separation of any kind, it need not be from a leaf and a tree, not only like that, any kind of separation. Anantaram adhikaranam. Again, even in apadana also we have other cases actually. Let me see if we can talk a little bit about that.
యాక్చువల్లీ అదే చోరాత్ బిభేతి అన్నది కూడా మనం చెప్పుకుంటాం. చోరాత్ అన్నదానికి కూడా మనం ఆపాదిస్తాం కదండి అపాదానము. అది ఎలా చెప్పుకోవాలి అప్పుడు?
అది భీ ధాతు అనుకుంటా. ఐ థింక్ ఇట్ కమ్స్ అండర్ ఉపపద విభక్తి. ఐ థింక్ అది I also have to check whether it is kevalam upapada vibhakti or it can be considered as a kind of apadanam. That I also have to check once. So ఎందుకంటే here like namaha, whenever namaha is used we get chaturthi, that is upapada definitely. So here the bhi dhatu, one second. No, this also comes under apadanam only. Okay, but again, like I said, we have so many other cases. We will come to them at a later section. ఎందుకంటే చాలా ఉన్నాయి, and here they gave in a separate order. Under Panchami Vibhakti, they gave all the cases of apadana as well as upapada Panchami. Okay, we shall discuss those at that point.
Okay.
Okay. So here, yeah, there is so much of information given for each of the karakam, the apadana karakam, and all this we'll discuss when we until in the sequence that is given in the book. Otherwise we'll have to turn the pages back and forth. Okay, so here this is the basic explanation of apadana. All other cases we'll study as and when we move to that section. So here let us look at adhikaranam. Adharo adhikaranam. Okay, so kartru karma dwara.
అంటే ఈ భయము ఇదన్నా తర్వాత చెప్తా అంటున్నారా, తర్వాత వస్తాయి అంటున్నారా?
కరెక్ట్.
ఓకే.
Adharodhikaranam. So this sutra again determines when a word gets adhikarana sanya. Okay, adhikaranam is also a karakam. And when does a word get adhikarana sanya? This sutram explains. Kartru karma dvara tannishta kriyayaha adharaha karakam adhikarana sanyaha syat iti sutrarthaha. Kartari vidyamana kriyayaha karmani vidyamana phalasya va adharaha adhikarana sanyakaha bhavati iti phalitarthaha. So kartari means in the karta, kartari. So this is in Saptami Vibhakti. So in the karta, what is there? Kriya is there. Vidyamana kriyayaha. Okay. That ashrayatvam of that kriya, in which is in the karta. And karmani vidyamana phalasya va adharaha. So the phala of the kriya is in karma, right? The vyapara is in karta and phala is in karma. That is what we have studied. So vyaparashrayaha karta, phalashrayam karme asti. So karmani vidyamana phalasya va adharaha. The adhara of that phala, adhikarana sanyakaha bhavati. So here, where that action is happening. Ramaha pustakam patati. Kutra patati? Grihe patati. Atra, that patana kriya is happening in the griha. So kriyayaha ashrayaha. Ante that reading, the action of reading is different. That is in the karta. But that happening is happening in the griham. Okay, the kriya is supported, means the happening of the kriya is in the karta, whereas the place where it is happening is in the griham. That is called adhikaranam. Okay. So here kartra nishta kriyayaha udaharanam. So this adhikaranam can be kartra nishta or karma nishta. Means the adhara when of the kriya, where it is happening, will be called kartra nishta kriya. If it is the adhara, if it is providing the adhara for the phala of the kriya, then karmanishta kriya we call. Okay. So example for kartranishta kriya is balaha kate upavishati. So upaveshana kriya ashrayatvam bale asti. Means that actual happening of the kriya is within bala. He is the one who is doing that vyapara of upaveshanam. But where is he sitting? Where is that upaveshanam happening? On the kata. So kata will get the adhikarana sanya. So upasarga purvaka vish dhatoho arthaha yat kinchit desha sanyoga rupam phalam tadanukula kriyacha. Yat kinchit desha sanyoga rupam. When you are sitting on a mat, you will be occupying only a part of that mat. You cannot occupy the complete, like tile. What is that called? Sesame seeds. What are that called? సంస్కృతంలో నేను అడిగేది
తిలే అండి
తిలే తైలం అస్తి. సో దేర్ the ashrayatvam or the adhikaranam is there completely. We studied that earlier also, right? The adhikaranam can be again 2 or 3 types. One is where it completely occupies, like how the oil is there in the sesame seed. You cannot say the oil is only in this part of the sesame seed, not in that part. It is completely there. Whereas here, kate upavishati, you only sit on a part of a mat. It is not completely. That is why kinchit, the word kinchit is mentioned for that reason. Yat kinchit desha sanyoga rupam phalam. Okay. So the sanyogam, because of the upaveshana kriya, what is the phalam? Sanyoga rupam. That sanyoga rupam phalam tadanukula kriyacha. That is the dhatvartha of the upaveshana kriya. Upaveshana kriyayaha ashrayaha balaha karta. Bale vidyamanayaha kriyayaha adharaha kataha. So the bala is doing the kriya. So kriya ashrayatvam bale asti. But the bala, for him to do this kriya, what is the adhara? For him to do this kriya, the adhara is kataha. the Upaveshana Kriya can happen only if he is able to sit on that mat. The Ashrayam. Ataha Kataha Adhikaranam. Okay. So here Balaha Pustakam Pathati. There also the Pathana Kriyayaha Ashrayatvam Bale Asti. For the Bala to do that Kriya, he needs Adhara, like a place. Without a place, they cannot, for every action, there will be Adhikarana. For every action, it will not be mentioned in every sentence, because the speaker does not intend to emphasize on that. Now, when we are talking about a topic, whatever we want to emphasize on, we will tell only those details. Not every single time you need to mention all the karakams. Like Balaha Pustakam Pathati, Shlokam Pathati, Gita, Bhagavad Gita, Shlokan Pathati. So these are the things that we want to mention. Where he studied at this point, you are trying to tell what are all the things the boy learned, because you are trying to project him with his knowledge. So then where he learned all this is not important. But sometimes that might be an important factor, where he studied, because that place might have a significance, like a Sringeri Matham. So Sringeri Mathe Saha Adhyayanam Kritavan. So there that place has a significance. So the Vakta wants to mention that for that reason. But not always. Just because it is not mentioned in a sentence, it does not mean that the Ashrayatvam is not there. The Adhikarana Ashrayatvam is not there. It is only not mentioned because that is not what we are emphasizing right now. So similarly, even with the Karanam, Karana kArakam also. So Pathati, when the Pathana Kriya is happening, Nayanabhyam Pathati, like Mukhena Pathati, anything you can, there are instruments that you use even to read with your voice, with your mouth, with your eyes. All these are there, right? But we don't mention that every single time. Why? Because they are not necessary at this point of time. The Vakta is focusing only on projecting certain information. So it doesn't mean that there is no Karana kArakam there. There is. In that Kriya, for that Kriya to happen, there is a Karana kArakam also. But at this point, the Vakta is not projecting on that. He is only emphasizing on what has been read, or, whatever. So depending on how the Vakta wants to express, depending on that, the Karakams come into picture. Okay. So here also, Kate Upavishati.
Asande Upavishati, it means complete place occupied, na? Oh.
Asande Upavishati api, in the kurchi, if you are sitting, it doesn't mean every piece of the chair you are occupying, right? Not necessarily, right? That is not important here. Whether he is occupying the complete thing or not is not important for this Adhikaranam. Adhikarana Sanya, whether you occupy full place or not, still it will get Adhikarana Sanya. But I am simply mentioning that even within Adhikarana, there are kinds. One is where you occupy it completely, and another one is where you occupy it partially. There are two kinds, but what I'm saying is, for Adhikarana Sanya, for an object to get Adhikarana Sanya, whether it is occupying completely or not is not a factor.
Okay.
Okay. Just adi sandarbham vachindani cheppanu. But yeah, it is. It does not affect the Adhikarana Sanya. So here, Balaha
అంటే
Kate.
ఇంపర్మనెన్స్ చెప్తుంది కదండి. ముందు లేదు, ఇప్పుడు వచ్చి కూర్చున్నాడు, మళ్ళీ కూడా ఉండకపోవచ్చు. ఇంపర్మనెన్స్ అని
yes. Only at that
అట్రిబ్యూట్ ఉన్నట్టు అర్థమవుతుంది.
That Kriya is happening, as long as the Kriya happens, that Adhikaranam will be there. So here, Upasarga Purvaka Vish Dhatoho Arthaha Yat Kinchit Desha Sanyoga Rupam Phalam Tadanukula Kriyacha Upaveshana Kriyayaha Ashrayaha Balaha Karta. Okay. The Kriya Ashrayatvam will always be in the Karta. Bale vidyamanayaha kriyayaha adharaha kataha. Okay, so in that bala, the kriya ashrayatvam is there. For that, the adhara is kataha. For him to be able to sit, there needs to be an adhara for him that to perform that action. For any action, not only the upaveshana kriya, for any action that you do, there should be an adhara. Without adhara, nothing can happen. Adhara means a place, right? So ataha kataha adhikaranam. But it is not emphasized, like I was explaining earlier. Not always we emphasize, but there has to be a place where that kriya happens. That only is called adhara. Karman, for some it is more explicit. For you to sit explicitly, there should be a place. Then that is more explicit. But for you to read, we don't, like how to sit, you need an object. For reading, you don't need to express that adhikaranam as much. But still, there is a place where that action happens. Grihe va, patashalayam va, wherever you are performing that action, that adhikaranam is there always, but not always we mention that. So karmanishta kriyayaha udaharanam. Sudaha odanam sthalyam pachati. So here sthalyam. What is the sthalyam? Is it the adhara for sudaha? No, it is adhara for odanam. Okay, so this is karmanishta kriyayaha adharaha. So pach dhatoho arthaha viklitti rupa phalam tadanukula kriyacha. Viklitti rupam means that softening. Pach dhatu means cooking. By cooking, what is the phalam that we are expecting? Anything that you cook, the final result should be softened to the point where it is edible. Right? So that is the phalam that we are expecting. So viklitti rupa phalam tad anukula kriya. Paka kriya ashrayah sudaha karta. So kriya ashrayatvam sada karta eva asti, kartari eva asti. Viklitti rupa phala ashrayah vodanaha karma. So the phala ashrayam karme asti, karmani asti. So here the phala ashrayah vodanaha. The viklitti rupam kutra bhavati? Vodane bhavati. So vodanaha karma. Karma bhute vodane vartamanasya. Karma bhute vodane vartamanasya viklitti rupa phalasya adharaha sthali. So for that, to obtain that phalam, what is the ashrayam? Sthali. Because in the sthali only that odanam will get the viklitti rupam phalam. This is the adhara for that. Ataha sthali adhikaranam. Balaha kate upavishati iti udaharane upaveshana kriya bale asti. Ataha sakshat kriyayaha adharaha balaha eva. Baladvara kriyayaha adharaha kataha. Sudaha vodanam sthalyam pachati iti udaharane viklitti rupa phalam odane asti. Ataha sakshat phalasya adharaha odanam eva. Odanadvara phalasya adharaha sthali. The actual kriyayaha ashrayaha kartari asti. Atra phalasya adharaha karmani asti. Kintu through that karmani, the actual adhara is the sthali. Okay, the kriyayaha adharaha sthali. So ataha sarvatra paramparaya kriyayaha phalasya va adharaha eva adhikaranam bhavati. Iti gneyam kartuhu karmanaha va adharaha adhikaranam bhavati. Iti balan uddishya bodhanam varam. So basically through the karta, of the karta or of the karma, the adhara, whatever is the adhara, is called adhikaranam. Adhikarana sanyam bhavati. Through that kriya. So the bala is doing the kriya. Kriya ashrayatvam bale asti. But through the bala, the actual ashrayatvam for the kriya is what? The kata. Like that we have to see. The kriya ashrayatvam bale asti. Why? Because the vyapara is being done by the bala. That is why kriya ashrayatvam bale asti. Kintu through the bala, where it is happening, that actual kriya, where is it happening, that we have to look. Okay. So pakashalayam balaha pachati. If we say that pakashalayam balaha odanam pachati. Odanam kutra pachati? Sthalyam pachati. So here the adhikaranam sthalyam will be the adhikaranam of odanam, the karma padam, whereas pakashalayam will become adhikaranam of the kartrupadam, balaha. Like this, adhikaranam can be related to the karta or the karma. So two kinds we have. Okay. So that is what is given here. Any questions?
So in adhikarana, only two type of thing will come, only kartru or karma. There won't be any type of adhikarana, right?
In kArakam, sampradanam, no.
Okay.
Mahoday, please briefly explain in Telugu.
ఏది ఏ పార్ట్ మీకు కావాలి?
ఇక్కడ వ్యాపార అని ఫలితం ఏదో చెప్పారు, అది అర్థంకి మహోదయ్ వ్యాపార అని అదొకటి నాకు అర్థం.
In the very beginning we discussed about dhatvartha. Dhatu has the meaning of the dhatu can explained in two ways. One is vyapara and the other is phalam. So say for example patana kriya asti. Okay, patana kriya katham bhavati. So for somebody to read, what are the steps that are involved? That person has to take something that is to be read, a book or a paper or whatever it is. And then he has to open it. He has to look at it. He has to read aloud. Okay, or read in the mind, or however he wants to read. These are all the steps that are involved in the for that action to happen. For that action to finally to make it happen, these are the steps involved. These are called vyapara. But what is the phalitam expected finally, being able to understand?
Telugu, in Telugu.
So అంటే ఆ క్రియని చేయడానికి అవసరమైన స్టెప్స్. ఒకటేసారి మీరు చదవలేరు కదా, ఒకటేసారి మొత్తం అవ్వదు కదా. అది కూర్చోవాలి, చూడాలి, అది చూసినప్పుడు మీకు అది గుర్తించగలగాలి. అది గుర్తించలేని భాషలో ఉందనుకోండి, పఠన క్రియ జరగదు. మీకు అది తెలుసున్న భాషలో ఉంటేనే మీకు ఆ పఠన క్రియ జరుగుతుంది. చదివింది అర్థం అవ్వాలి, అర్థమైన దాన్ని మీరు గుర్తు పెట్టుకోవాలి. ఇదంతా చేస్తేనే మీకు పఠనం జరిగిందని మీరు చెప్పగలుగుతారు. When will you say I read this? How can you say I read this story? If you simply look at it, can you say that you read that story? లేదు, మీరు చెప్పలేరు. మీరు అది చదివి అర్థం చేసుకుంటే only then you will be able to say I read this story or shloka or whatever. సో అదంతా వ్యాపారం కిందకు వస్తుంది. అంతా చేసేది ఎవరు? కర్త. సో వ్యాపారాశ్రయత్వం కర్త. దాని ఫలం ఏంటి? ఈ క్రియ చేయటం ద్వారా ఏ క్రియకైనా ఒక ఫలం ఉంటుంది. ఆ ఫలం ఏంటి ఇక్కడ? అది చదివి అర్థం చేసుకోవడమో, లేకపోతే గుర్తు పెట్టుకోవడమో, లేకపోతే బట్టి పట్టడమో, ఏదో ఒకటి. ఆ ఫలం మీరు ఏమనుకుని ఆ పఠనం చేశారో అది ఫలం.
ఓకే.
ఆ ఫలం ఎక్కడ ఉంటుంది?
కర్తలో.
ఫలం కర్తలో ఉండదు యాక్చువల్ గా. ఇప్పుడు చదివి అధ్యయనం చేసేయడం అనేది ఎక్కడ జరుగుతోంది? ఆ పుస్తకంలోనో ఆ శ్లోకంలోనో దాన్ని కదా మీరు కంప్లీట్ గా చదవబడి. సో ఆ ఫలం ఎక్కడైతే ఉంటుందో దాన్ని మనం కర్మ అంటాం.
ఓకే.
ఓకే, అది ఫలాశ్రయం. సో ఫలాశ్రయం కర్మయందు ఉంటుంది, వ్యాపారాశ్రయం కర్తయందు ఉంటుంది. So here also we are saying that a phala karta, ఇక్కడ వ్యాపారాశ్రయత్వం అనేది ఇక్కడ ఇవ్వలేదు, బట్ నేను అది అంతకు ముందు చెప్పింది మళ్ళీ జస్ట్ మననం చేశాను. సో హియర్ ఆ వ్యాపారాశ్రయత్వం కర్తయందు ఉంటుంది, కానీ ఆ కర్త ద్వారా ఎక్కడ ఆ క్రియకి ఎక్కడ యాక్చువల్ ఆధారం ఉంటుందో అది అధికరణం అవుతుంది. ఇప్పుడు ఆ పఠన క్రియ చేశాడు. ఎక్కడ చేశాడు? గృహంలో చేశాడో, పాఠశాల యందు చేశాడో, గ్రంథాలయం యందు చేశాడో, ఆ కర్త ద్వారా ఆ క్రియ ఎక్కడ జరిగింది అనేది అధికరణం అవుతుంది.
ఓకే.
ఇప్పుడు ఇక్కడ లాస్ట్ 4 లైన్స్ చూస్తే మీరు అతః సాక్షాత్ ఫలస్య ఆధారః ఓదనమేవ. ఓదన ద్వారా ఫలస్య ఆధారః స్థాళీ. అలాగే అంతకంటే ముందు ఒక 2 లైన్లు చూస్తే బాల ద్వారా క్రియాయాః ఆధారః కటః. సో హియర్ ద క్రియా ఆశ్రయత్వం విల్ బి ఇన్ ద కర్త. But through the karta, the actual ashrayatvam of that kriya, where it is happening, will become the adhikarana. So say for example, we take balaha kate upavishati. So the upaveshana kriyayaha ashrayatvam bale asti, because that vyapara completely is in the bala. He places the mat, he brings together his body to sit on that mat, he actually body down and sits. Idanta vyaparam sarvam bale asti. Atah kriyayaha ashrayatvam bale asti. Kintu bala dwara, through the bala, the actual adhara for the kriya is the kata. Adi చెప్తున్నాడు ఇక్కడ. ఓకే,
ఇది పాకశాల అది అది ఇప్పుడు
I just gave you an example in a sentence how a karta can also have a adhikarana and a karma also can have an adhikarana. How, say for example, balakaha pakashalayam sthalyam odanam pachati. So here pakashalayam is also adhikarana sanya asti.
Yes.
Adi kartru, is it kartrunishta adhikaranam?
Balak.
So it is the adhikaranam for the kriya through the bala. Pakashalayam balaha pachati. So here pakashalayam is the adhikarana for what? For the karta, for the bala. Where is he performing this action of cooking? He is performing the action of cooking in the pakashala. Okay. Sthali annam pachati. Sthalyam. In the sthali, what is being cooked? Annam. So sthalyam will be the adhikarana for the annam or odanam.
Yes, okay.
So karma nirdishta adhikaranam and kartru nirdishta adhikaranam. So adhikaranam can be either based on the karta or the karma. So when it is for the karma, because it is providing the ashrayatvam of the phalam. So balakaha
చాలా బాగా చెప్తున్నారు మహోదయ, చాలా ఓపికగా.
Yeah, ఒక్క నిమిషం. So balakaha odanam pachati. So whenever there is a kriya, we discussed that 2 things will happen, vyapara and phalam. Vyaparashrayatvam baladwara pakashalayam asti. Phala ashrayatvam odanadwara sthalyam asti. That is why that will become the karta ashrayatvam pakashala, and sthali will become karma ashrayatvam. That is how we have to look at it. You connect it with that. So a dhatu has 2 meanings, vyaparam and phalam. That which provides adhikarana to the or adhara to the vyapara will become kartru, will be related to the karta, that adhikaranam. That which is providing adhara for the phalam will become karma, will become adhikaranam for the karma. That is how, when, so in a sentence, if you have one adhikarana, a padam which is in adhikarana, how to decide whether it is the adhikarana for the karta or for the karma? That is how you decide. That samshayam will come in many shlokas, that is there. In many shlokas that will be there. So that is how you look at it. Or sometimes when there are more than one kriyas in a sentence, then also the adhikaranam to which kriya it belongs also you have to check. You simply cannot mark it as adhikarana to the main kriya. Sometimes it will be adhikarana to other kriyas also. to other kriyas which are in the sentence, like the kthwanta or tumunnanta or shatranta. For any of those, you can have adhikarana. Okay. Any other questions in this? So this all this today you have listened, you might have felt it is completely clear. But if you don't do that mananam, tomorrow again it will be confusing. After 2 days, if you open the book again, you might feel you are not able to understand. So what you need to do is, after the class also, tomorrow again you read through all this and remember what all we discussed. Say it in different words. So adhikaranam, so which one is kartrinishta kriyayaha adhikaranam, karmanishta kriyayaha adhikaranam. Why is it called karmanishta kriyayaha adhikaranam? Because it is phalashrayaha. So phalashrayaha karmani asti, but through the karma, it is in the sthali. That is why sthali becomes the adhikaranam for the karma padam. Similarly, pakashala is the adhikaranam for the karta, because it is the vyaparashrayatvam. Through the bala, the vyaparashrayatvam is actually in the pakashala. That is why we can call it kartrinishta kriyayaha adhikaranam. Like that, you try to say the same thing in different sentences, so that finally that becomes clear. Only when you try to put it in so many words in so many angles, then that doubt will be clarified. Otherwise, and we have to visualize and always remember, there is a reason why all these things are given. Vyaparam phalam, vyaparam phalam. So because we have identified the dhatu in these two ways, vyaparam and phalam, that is why we are able to discuss this adhikarana, how it becomes related to karta or related to karma, how to identify. Because the dhatu can be vyapara and phalam. So when it is vyapara, it belongs to karta. When it is providing ashrayatvam to the phalam, then the ashrayatvam will be to the karma. Like that, we can connect. Then there will be no confusion. Even if you have a question at any point of time, we can always go, okay, what is the vyapara of this dhatu? Now this adhikaranam, is it providing ashrayatvam to this vyapara or to the phalam? Like that we can relate. So if we get the answer, okay, no, this adhikarana is providing adhara to the phalam. So then it has to be the adhikarana for the karma padam. That is how we can do the vishleshana. Any other questions? Okay.
Hari Om Bhagini.
Om Bhagini.
Usually, we actually, sthali is supposed to be a plate usually, but here we have to take it as a vessel.
Yes.
Okay. Astu. Tathaiva.
So, idam avadeyam, page number 9. So, ashtadhyayam karaka sangnya vidhayaka sutranam kramaha ittham. So, there is that they are here listed as per the sutra sankhya. So, dhruvam apaye apadanam. That is the 24th sutra of the 4th pada of the first adhyaya. Karmana yamabhipraiti sa sampradanam. This is the 32nd sutra of the 4th pada of the first adhyaya. Sadhakatamam karanam. This is the 42nd sutra of the 4th pada of the first adhyaya. Adharodhikaranam. 45th shloka sutra. Kartruripsitamam karma. This is the 49th, and Swatantraha Karta, 54th. Okay. So this is the order that is there in the Paniniya Ashtadhyayi. So this also we have to keep, because Vipratishedhe Param Karyam is applied in many places. What is very good about Ashtadhyayi is Panini Maharshi, he used object-oriented concept. We think this object-oriented concept is new, right? In the programming languages. But he used that back then itself. So there are so many such logical arrangement of the sutras is also there. So these Sankhyas are not simply given. He put all this, the ordering of the sutras also has a significance. Why? Because in such cases, he simply gave one sutra, Vipratishede Param Karyam. So that applies everywhere. Wherever two sutras have the same force, the latter one will take into effect. And with that, still all the vyakarana is being supported with his sutras and with the arrangement of the sutras. So not only did he write the sutras, but the arrangement, like how he arranged these sutras, also has so much of significance. And not only this, like there will be a general rule. Utsarga apavada, we say. Utsarga is a general rule. And then the apavada sutra will come into picture, because everywhere, not only here, in any concept, this applies. So there, because you cannot precisely make rules for everything. Then so many rules will come with every detail. So what do we do normally? One general rule will be given. And then whenever there is an exception, we tell, okay, normally this is how it is, but sometimes this also can happen. So the Utsarga and Apavada, such that concept is also there in Paniniya Sutras. And this is another concept, Vipratishede Param Karyam. Like this, there are so many concepts that also, we can have a class based on the concepts that Panini Maharshi uses in Ashtadhyayi. Knowing that is important. Why? Because, such dilemmas can come to us. Okay, why in this case, why this is happening, why not that? We already had many such questions, right? Earlier when we were discussing either the Sandhi Sutras or the Samasa Sutras. Why? Because always there is an exception. So unless we know how the Ashtadhyayi Sutras are laid out, we will then understand, okay, this is the case. Even with the Pratyayas, we see that generally this Pratyaya comes, but sometimes another Pratyaya. Or when a Pratyaya is used, it behaves a little differently with one word. In Samasas, we noticed that, right? Normally, it has this Pratyaya, but with certain Shabdas, a different Pratyaya comes into picture. So all these are given in the Paniniya Sutra. So it is very important for us to, at this point, in the beginner's stage, it will be overwhelming, so we did not study. But now that we have come, this far into the Gita Pravesha, we are doing the 4th book now. So it is important for us to understand these, so we'll understand the Vyakarana aspect a little bit more clearly. So it becomes easy for us to understand why certain things are different. And another thing is, when we don't understand something, we need to understand the fact that there is much more to it, and we need to look into it rather than thinking that it is not given clearly or whatever. The reason why they don't give everything in the beginners books are because it will be overwhelming for us. So when we don't understand something, it means that there is more to it, and we have to just patiently wait until we get to that part. That is the only way we can move forward through learning. Okay, so this is the order of the Karaka Sutras. So here, Vipratishedhe Param Karyam iti sutrasya sancharaya ashtadhyayaha kramaha avashyam apekshitaha. So because of this sutra and how it is applied, sancharaya means how it is applied in the Ashtadhyayi. So this, the krama of the sutras is always important for us to know. Okay. So anabhihite. So here this word abhihita and anabhihita, that also is a technical term which we need to get familiar with, because like how this vyaparashrayam, phalashrayam, all these technical words are there. This also is important for us to understand. Abhihitam means that which is specified automatically by default. Okay. and anabhihitam means that which is not specified by default. So when I say by default, so when I say gacchati, what comes to your mind? When I say gacchati, what comes to your mind? So
Abhihitam.
What is abhihitam through that word?
It's a movement, right?
Movement, and what else? That one person, a single person, a third person.
Viyogaha.
Viyogaha, yeah. But the basic dhatu, the gam dhatu and gacchati, especially the form gacchati, not the dhatu here. We have to look at the pratyaya of this gam dhatu. When I say gacchati, and then when I say gamyate, what is the difference between the two? When I say gacchati, what comes to your mind? When I say gamyate, what comes to your mind?
Gamyati is passive. Gacchati is active. Sorry.
Active voice and passive voice. By active voice, say the same words in Sanskritam.
Kartari prayoga and karmani prayoga.
Kartari prayoga and karmani prayoga. When do you say kartari? Why are you saying it is kartari prayoga? Because
when it is kartru pradhanam.
The karta is abhihitam. By the ti suffix there, karta is abhihitam. When I say gamyate, the te there, it is not the te as in vandate, the kartari prayoga te. That is a different te. It indicates gamyate or khadhyate, what has been eaten. Immediately the akanksha comes for the karma. So it is there, the karma is abhihitam. Tinabadindi. In Telugu, if I say tinabadindi, em tinabadindi antam ventane. Tinnadu. Evar tinnaru? Right? So, of course, the other details, akanksha for the other details also will be there. But what is more prasputam is for gacchati, the karta is prasputam. For gamyate, the karma is prasputam. Khadhyate. Kaha khadhyate or kam khadhyate? What has been eaten? Or kim khadhyate? Either kaha or kim. Kam won't come into picture. Right? So when I say khadati, kaha khadati? So here, when I say khadati, with the ti, the karta is abhihitam. Okay? And when I say khadhyate, the karma is abhihitam. By abhihitam, that which defaults, like default by the just, it is indicated or specified by default. In that sense, we can take. Okay? So here, that is what is being discussed. Sudaha tandulam pachati. Sudena tandulaha pachyate. So here, pachati. The ti indicates the karta. And the suffix of the tandula indicates karma. And here the sudena tandulaha pachyate. Sudena, that ina suffix that is coming after the shabda suda indicates the karta. The tritiya vibhakti there indicates the karta. Pachyate, the te indicates the karma here. Okay? About the suffixes, we will have a separate class. So let us not focus too much on the suffix details, but how much they apply to the karaka, that much we'll discuss. So here, sudaha tandulam pachati. Ityatra sudaha karta. Kartuhu sudasya ipsitatamam tandulaha. Atra tandulaha karma. Okay? So tandulaha karmakarakam iti nischaye jate karmani dvitiya iti sutrena dvitiya vibhaktihi tandula shabdat para vidhiyate. Tada sudaha tandulam pachati iti prayogaha sambhavati. Sudena tandulaha pachyate ityatrapi sudaha karta tandulaha karma. Kintu tandula shabdat para द्वितीया विभक्तिः कुतः न प्रवृत्ता इति आकांक्षा समुदेति. अस्याः शङ्कायाः आशंका समुदेति. अस्याः शङ्कायाः समाधानं विस्तरेण निरूप्यते. So here You all know the Kartari Prayoga and Karmani Prayoga. So, Sudaha Tandulam Pachati. There we are saying it is Kartari Prayoga and we say Tandulam is Karma Padam. And because it is Karma Padam, Karmani Dvitiya. The Karma Padam gets Dvitiya Vibhakti. That is why we attached the Pratyaya to the Tandula Shabda and we got Tandulam. But Sudena Tandulaha Pachyate. Here also Tandula is Karma Padam only. But why we don't have the Pratyaya here? Why is it not given the Dvitiya Vibhakti here? This Shanka will be there for us. Okay. So that will be explained. Sudaha Tandulam Pachati. Ityatra iti Dvitiya Vibhakti Shruyate. Ityasya Artaha Karma. So if you look at the Vibhakti Pratyayas which are given on page number 12. On page number 12, you have the Vibhakti Pratyayas. Okay, so Su, Au, Jas, Out, Shas. All these are the Vibhakti Pratyayas. So if you look at Dvitiya Ekavachanam, is there. That is the Dvitiya Vibhakti Ekavachana Pratyayam. So here the Tandula Shabda got that Pratyaya and it became Tandulam. Okay, so here the indicates the Dvitiya Vibhakti. That is why here it is given iti Dvitiya Vibhakti Shruyate. Ityasya Artaha Karma. Dvitiya Vibhakti Karmani Dvitiya. Because of that sutra, we understand here the Pratyaya is given. So the Tandulam indicates the Karma. Pachati. Iti Tinantam api Vakye Vidyate. Tatra Ti Pratyayaha Shruyate. Okay, in the Sudaha Tandulam Pachati. There, the indicates that Tandulam is the Karma Padam and the Ti indicates Karta. Tasya Ti Pratyayasya Artaha Karta iti. Saha Karta Kaha Ityakankshayam Vakye Shruyamanaha Sudaha iti Vaktavyam. So here with the Pachati, we know that Pachati, the Ti is indicating the Karta. So who is the Karta in this sentence? You will understand Sudaha. Sudaha is the Karta. Idameva Itham Vilikya Pradarshayitum Shakyam. Sudaha Tandulam Pachati. So the Ti of the Pachati is indicating Suda as the Karta and the of the Tandula is indicating that Tandulam is the Karma Padam. Tandula Karmakaha Suda Kartrukaha Paka Vyaparaha iti Sudaha Tandulam Pachati iti Vakyasya Artaha Sampannaha. So like this we understand the meaning of this sentence. Now something that we know we understand even without all this Vishleshana. But if you come across a sentence where you don't know the words, this is how we need to analyze. That is the reason why we need to have the knowledge of the vyakarana. For the stories that we already know, the Mahabharata, the Ramayana and all, it is easy for us to comprehend. With little knowledge of vyakarana, we'll be able to understand. But if we come across a new text, which is totally new to us, we don't know the context. Of course, it is important to also know the context, but the vyakarana can also help us understand the basics of who is the karta, who is the karma, what is the kriya happening here. All that, to understand all that, we need to have this knowledge of the Samskrita vyakarana. And dhatu also, dhatvartaha. You all, I know, are already using the ashtadhyayi.com. There the dhatvartha is given. For every dhatu, the artha is given. So when we come across new kriya padani, we need to identify the dhatu, look it up in the ashtadhyayi.com, see what are all the dhatvarthas that can be applied. And based on the context, we need to pick the one that is more appropriate for this context. Like that, we have to use this knowledge of vyakarana to understand texts that we are not familiar with. So, Sudena Tandulaha Pachyate. I'll just read this part and we'll stop here. Ityatra ina iti tritiya vibhaktihi shruyate. Ina ityasya artaha karta. Pachyate iti tinantam shruyate. Tatra te ityasya artaha karma iti. In pachyate, the te indicates karma. The vandate, shankate, there that te does not indicate. That is atmanepadi te. Okay. And that is also kartari prayoga only. But here this te indicates the karma. Tat karma kim itya iti akankszayam vakye shruyamanaha tandulaha eva. Idam ittham vilikya pradarshayitum shakyam. Sudena tandulaha pachyate. So the te of the pachyate indicates the tandulaha karma. And sudena, the ina pratyaya of the suda shabda, indicates that sudena is the karta. So tandula karmakaha suda kartrikaha paka vyaparaha iti. Iti eva arthaha sudena tandulaha pachyate iti vakyasya api. Okay. So here that is how we understand the meaning of this sentence. Tandula karmakaha suda kartrikaha paka vyaparaha. That is how we understand the meaning of this sentence. Okay. Atra idam api jnatavyam. Vatuhu jalam anayati. Iti idam vakyam shuddham. Okay. So when we say vatuhu jalam anayati, that sentence as it is fine. But say if you say vatuhu jalam udakam anayati, do you consider that as a proper sentence? Because jalam and udakam both mean the same, water. So one is enough. When we say jalam, the meaning is being expressed. Why again use udakam? Not necessary. If you want to use udakam, you need not use jalam. Only one word for one meaning is enough. We need not express or use more than one. Right? That point you have to keep in mind. So here what they say is, in the sentence, Sudaha tandulam pachati. Sudaha tandulam pachati. The ti of the pachati is indicating the karta. Through the pachati padam, karta abhihitam. The karta is indicated. Okay. So again, there need not be another suffix for the suda shabda to indicate that that padam is the karta. That is why no other vibhakti or no other vibhakti is indicated. That which does not have any other specific karakam, not the karakam. How do you say that? Any other suffix that indicates the karta is not needed. So that which does not, or that which is already abhihitam, will get prathama vibhakti by default. So one thing what is very important that we need to understand is prathama vibhakti is not a karaka vibhakti. It is not a karaka vibhakti. Karta is a karakam. Karta is a karakam. But prathama vibhakti being assigned to karta is not because prathama vibhakti is a karaka vibhakti. It is not a karaka vibhakti. For which additional information need not be given, like here, Sudaha, Pakam Pachati or Tandulam Pachati. The Pachati itself is indicating the Karta. It is Abhihitam. Karta is Abhihitam here. So no other Vibhakti specifically need to be assigned. So that is why that Karakam, which is already Abhihitam, will not get any other Vibhakti. By default, it will get Prathama Vibhakti. That is why here Sudaha gets Prathama Vibhakti. Similarly, in Sudena Tandulaha Pachyate, the Pachyate, the Te is indicating the karma, which is the Tandulaha. So the Tandulaha is already being Abhihitam through the Pachyate. That is why it does not get Dvitiya Vibhakti, though it is a Karma Padam. It gets Prathama Vibhakti. So this Dvitiya, what is this sutra? Karmani Dvitiya. Karmani Dvitiya. A Karma Padam gets Dvitiya. When Anabhihite. When it is not explicitly Abhihitam. Here it is Abhihitam. When I say Sudena Tandulaha Pachyate, the Pachyate, the Te, is indicating the Karma. So since it is indicating, it is Abhihitam. If it is Abhihitam, Dvitiya na bhavati. Dvitiya kada bhavati? Anabhihite. Anabhihite. When the karma padam is not abhihitam, then we specifically point, this is the karma padam. So we have to put it in Dvitiya Vibhakti. So we understand, okay, this is in Dvitiya Vibhakti, means it can be the karma padam. If it is abhihitam, then we need not identify by the fact that Vatuhu jalam udakam anayati. Why do you want to mention twice? When with one word it is already expressed. When the pachyate, the te of the pachyate is already indicating the karma, then why do you need dvitiya vibhakti again to indicate that it is karma? It is not needed. So that is the reason why in karmani prayoga the karma padam does not get dvitiya vibhakti. Similarly, in the kartari prayoga, the karta is abhihitam through the kriya padam. So it does not get any specific vibhakti. Whereas in the karmani prayoga, the kriya padam is not indicating the karta, it is indicating the karma. That is why kartru karane trutiya. Through that vibhakti, the kartru padam is getting trutiya vibhakti. Because atra kartru padam na abhihitam. So we are to make it explicit that this is the kartru padam. We are giving it the trutiya vibhakti because it is not abhihitam through the kriya padam. So when it is abhihitam through the kriya padam, it does not get any other vibhakti, only prathama vibhakti by default. If it is not abhihitam, then the karma padam will get dvitiya vibhakti through the sutra karmani dvitiya, and the kartru padam will get trutiya vibhakti through the sutram kartru karane trutiya. Okay, so we'll stop here. Just chew on
Bhagini, a Krishna quickly.
Yes, yes.
Anamihite, that means it is not specified, but abhimitam, that means it is definitely specified by default. Correct. Am I correct?
Correct.
So, okay. These two words are so closely. Why in Sanskrit all words are so closely with a viparit meaning?
Abhihitam, we are adding anabhihitam. You know, like dharmaha, adharmaha. So just by adding we are indicating the negation of that word.
Right.
Ayam, anyayam. Like that.
Okay. Okay, Bhagini. Then Dhanyavad, Bhagini.
Initial word starts with a vowel, like abhihita is starting with a. The negation will become an. When it is starting with a consonant, the will remain as only.
Understood. Okay.
Ayam, anyayam. Dharmam, adharmam. There only will remain as but here abhihitam akaradi. So here the again the negation will become anabhihitam. It becomes.
Okay.
The samasa thing. And we'll again discuss this in the next class. We'll start again the same thing. Okay, like how why the karta is getting the prathama vibhakti in kartari prayoga and why the karma padam is getting prathama vibhakti in the karmani prayoga. That we'll again discuss. If anyone did not understand, don't worry. We'll come back to it again in the next class.
And today's recording will be on, right?
It will be, I will upload it tomorrow.
Okay, so then by next week we will be a little bit better in the whole thing, understanding.
Yes.
Dhanyavad, Bhagini.
Dhanyavad.
Madam, I have a question. What is the meaning of this Ipsita Tamaha? What is that word meaning?
So Ipsitam means this is a sannanta. Sannanta means have you done Kovida yet?
No.
Kovida or Gita Pravesha?
No, I haven't done it.
Okay. So Sannanta is a pratyayam again. Okay. It is a kind of krit pratyaya which is used to indicate the ishta, ichartaha. Okay. So when you say ipsitam, ipsati, which indicates more liking. Okay. So ipsitam means to what you desire or what you like. Ipsita tamam. The tamam and tarap and tamap are again another pratyayas which are superlative, like how Rama is taller than Lakshmana. Taller, that indicates the superlative. Like that, Ramaha Lakshmanat unnata taraha. That unnata taraha indicates taller. Ramaha Baleshu Ramaha unnata tamam is the tallest of all the boys. Taller, tallest. So those are the tarap and tamap pratyayas which indicate the superlative degrees, and the ipsitam is the sannanta of the ap dhatu. Actually, I think in the previous class I said ishta dhatu. No, it is ap dhatu. So for every dhatu, you can it has a san pratyaya. You can add the san pratyaya to indicate the ishtartha. Means for pat dhatu, if you add the san pratyaya, pipatishati, you will get. Okay, so which indicates you like to read. Pathati is just reading. Whether you like or not is not indicated there. So patitu michati. Patitu michati, in one word, if you want to say, pipatishati. Like that. Aptu michati. Ipsati. Like that. Okay, that is a special pratyaya used to indicate the ichartha of the dhatu. So here in this ipsita tamam, there are two pratyayas. One is the san pratyaya. After the san pratyaya, then you get the ktha pratyaya actually. And after that, the tamap pratyaya is applied. So ipsita tamam means that which you desire the most. So what the karta desires the most will be identified as the karma. We discussed that during the karma karakam, right?
Right. Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Thanks.
Any other question?
One more question asti. Artham na janami aham. Very beginning of the thing. Anveti.
Yes.
It became.
So,
Prathama prushte anveti asti karakam explanation.
Anveti means sambandham prapnoti.
Okay. Dhanyavad Bhagini.
That which has a sambandham with the kriya. So kriyaya anveti. So that which has a sambandham with the kriya is called karakam.
Okay. Dhanyavad. Only just one word you don't know. So many things goes wrong in your understanding. Now I understood the all the rest of it, because everywhere there was anveti, and I was throwing me.
Some words for them to stick into our mind also, it takes time. So that is why I keep saying that mananam is very, very important, because this anveti word also is one such word. Just one time by listening to it, you may not get it into the understanding of the meaning easily. So the more number of times you think of that word and apply it in a sentence and look at the meaning, then slowly it will sink and then it will be clear. So the benefit of doing this book is our vocabulary also increases. The technical terminology also will improve. But we have to do that mananam. Otherwise, again, that won't happen. So the more we try to memorize the technical terminology, we can read more advanced vyakarana books so that we'll understand those similarly. You know, once we practice with the smaller books, slowly we can advance in reading bigger vyakarana books, which have much rich language. This is one step at a time. We can proceed like that. So what I'm saying is you understand the concept and also try to familiarize with the technical terminology also. So that advanced classes, some gurus teach only using the Samskritam language. So understanding their class also will become easy if we familiarize ourselves with this technical terminology.
That is what I was going to say, because I'm lucky that I'm studying under you, only because in your mind, no question is a stupid question. And another one, that such small book where there are so many such words because they are putting a sandhi or samasa together and explaining. And a person like me doesn't know, because I don't have a preliminary Sanskrit experience yet. So I am lucky that because when I ask you this question, now one word meaning I understood. Now I understood everything from the point 1 to point 5, what they were telling me in those sentences. And
Yes, but
I'm very fortunate to be with you. Thank you so much. I can never say enough about you. Thank you.
We are all learning together. We are all in the learning journey. So,
Bhagini, you will be doing this Vibhakti Pratyaya.
Kim Bhagini?
This Vibhakti Pratyaya in little more detail. That table which is given.
Yes, there is a whole. There is the prakaranam on Vibhakti Pratyayas also, but we'll do that later. Here we'll focus, in this book, we'll focus what is given here on the karakas. Okay?
We have just assumed when we were studying in Pravesha, so little bit explanation on that will make it easy for us.
Yeah, sure. Whatever we need to understand this clearly, we'll cover. But pratyayas to go in detail, that is a big ocean.
Not in detail, just a little bit, how to remember them. That is
Sure.
Thank you so much,
Bhagini, can I say a word to Nalini Bhagini? Nalini Bhagini, if you want to learn Vibhakti by Swadhyay by yourself, you can. I do recommend Vibhakti Vallari, one book is there by Samskrita Bharati. That gives you all abhyasas are there in all different Vibhaktis. Like all the 7 Vibhaktis and Mishrana Vibhakti also there are abhyasas, exercises.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you so much. I'll look into it.
Nalini Bhagini, I have a question. You were asking about the Vibhakti Pratyayas or about the Vibhaktis, how to use
Vibhakti Pratyaya. This is like, how to, because I have just
so the Vibhakti Vallari book, does not cover the Pratyayas. It will only cover the usage of the Vibhaktis.
That is understood when we were, at the level. But this one we just by hearted. So
we'll do along with the Pratyayas.
Yeah, okay.
I was telling because she was referring to Pravesha and all, I thought it would be beneficial.
There they are not given in detail, so I want to know about the Pratyayas is what she was saying.
Sure.
Okay.
Yes, Bhagini.
So Shanti Mantram.
Sarve bhavantu sukhinah, sarve santu niramayah, sarve bhadrani pashyantu, ma kaschid dukkha bhag bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Dhanyavadah Bhagini. Sarvebhyah dhanyavadah.
धन्यवादः भगिनी
धन्यवादः भगिनी नमस्कारः
शुभरात्रि सर्वे